talker.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Hi, guys. Hi. I'm so glad to be up here, and I know a lot of you guys probably, well, there are a few of you who know my story, but you're still going to get it again because I know it's super important, okay? So I actually joined Scentsy in, 11 years and 2 days ago. So I just celebrated our anniversary. And I was working about 60 hours a week as a full-time operating room nurse, which meant like all hours of the night and all of that. And I just wanted to make some money for Christmas. That was it. And I actually didn't have a whole lot of support to begin with, but I loved the product. I saw the compensation plan, and I love numbers, so I knew that if I just joined, I could take that party and I would be paying for my joint kit. So numbers were a big thing for me, and I still use that today because I know how powerful that is. So if you're a math person like me, we'll get to that in a second. However, I was not a success overnight. I actually did not earn Shooting Star. I have been on the will cancel list before. I didn't have a single team member for the first 2 years of my business. No, if you guys didn't see that whole standing thing, you'd probably be wondering right now, like, why is this girl talking to us about sponsoring today? I promise I'm getting somewhere. I didn't want to ask people to join me. I was very nervous about the whole, rejection was really scary for me. Putting it out there and having people wonder like, why is she doing that? I'm not interested in that. And I would take it very personally because I was kind of, and still am, an emotional person. So it was just easier not to put myself out there to hear no. The other thing that stopped me from really building my business was I was kind of selfish with my orders. I loved it when I got that 25% commission, and if I had people join me, I wouldn't have as many orders. And so my mindset was that I would be more successful or I would make more money if I kept those orders for myself. So now, and a lot of you in here, I saw how many of you were standing, you have team members. You know I'm wrong, right? You know that if you build the business, you can make much better money. However, it took a little bit for me to figure that out. I got a very random recruit who was in Louisiana, of all places, and I thought, oh my gosh. I remember showing up at work that day and I thought, this is it. I'm gonna be successful. I'm going straight to the top. I got this one recruit. Yeah, you're laughing because you know. And I knew that like, she wasn't gonna take my orders because she's on the other side of the country, and like, if I fail her, you know, I don't have to look at her every day. Like it was like this little bit of like risk-free intro to being a Scentsy sponsor. And although there was a huge time difference being on the other side of the country, and although she was not necessarily a great computer user, we managed to get her the Shooting Star Award. And that was that little piece of success that I needed to make me feel like, okay, maybe I can do this. So I started asking all the people. And I was sharing what it was that I love about this business. It was so simple because I wasn't overfeeding people information. I was genuinely excited about what I was doing, right? I think that a lot of the time, we get a little bit overexcited about the things that this business can offer us, or we get a little bit of a word vomit. No? You think yeah. Okay. I want you to know, I personally did not come from a strong upline. My sponsor quit. Her sponsor quit. Her sponsor quit. Her sponsor quit. Her sponsor quit. I rolled up 6 times. 6. So if for 1 second you think that you aren't successful because your upline isn't guiding you in it, I call you know what. You can manage yourself up and do this thing, okay? The biggest thing that changed in my business wasn't anything really huge. It was the fact that I was sharing the opportunity with people. I was sharing how much fun I was having. I was sharing that the ability was there for them, right? So I want you to ask yourself right now, how many conversations are you genuinely having with people about the business? And if you were recruiting before and you're struggling now, how many conversations are you having with people about the business? Because I bet you're not having the same number that you were before. Because after COVID, we all kind of pulled back a little bit, and I know you know I'm right. So, I got that first person on my team. I started asking other people, and that year I recruited 41 people. Woo! Scentsy family reunion. I promoted to director the very next month. I earned my first incentive trip, and I was a top earner that year to Walt Disney World. I was able to take my son. The very next year, they asked me to speak on stage at SFR. My job said, "No way, we're not letting you go." I said, "I'll quit." And then I had a little panic. So it's a little premature, but I did quit my job, and I decided, you know what? Scentsy is where I want to be. Scentsy is what I'm going to make work, and I did. That's what I did, and now Scentsy is my full-time income, which is awesome. So that very same year, I earned a top 100 trip to Africa. I met some of my most closest friends that are in my team, other than these people here, like literally some of my closest friends. So as far as community goes, you couldn't ask for a better one. You couldn't ask for a better community, truly.
Yeah.
In Kansas City, I was a Shining Star finalist, which would have never happened without my community around me. And I can't imagine this life being anything else. This is not something that I would have ever dreamed for myself as a registered nurse working 60 hours a week. Never, never in a million years. So here's my advice for you, okay? It's nothing extra special. I want you to remember to feed the birds. You are not going out and headhunting. What you have is what people want. Feed the birds, hold out your hand, let them come to you, let them see how special Scentsy is. Remember how special Scentsy is. Even if you're struggling in the place that you're in now, you can remember the beautiful things that this business has brought you. The littlest things, remember them and share them readily. The next thing, I want you to remember to recruit from where they are, not where you are. There's that word vomit thing, right? It's so easy for me to jump in and tell people, yeah, I quit my job, and I traveled to Africa, and I traveled to France, and my best friends are in Scentsy, and they would be like, girl, not for me. You have to remember, tell them, hey, what would you do an extra $100 a month? Because an extra $100 a month is life-changing, you guys. For the majority of people, $100 a month is life-changing. So remember to recruit from where they are, not where you are. This is going to be a little hard to manage, but trust me on this. If you're the direct sales lady or the direct sales dude, you're holding yourself back. Orwell stated once, a man who chases two rabbits catches neither. I can tell you that from experience. I did 2 other direct sales companies while I was doing Scentsy. That was all during the period where I had no team members. And I didn't believe in the opportunity the way that I do now. Stick with Scentsy. Scentsy's the place, you guys. You show up to Scentsy exactly as you are. You are loved exactly as you are. That compensation plan is solid. The product plan is easy. You like it or you don't, right? Like you put it under their nose. It's not like you have to teach them about what it's going to do in their body or anything like that. It's consumable products. Scentsy is the place, I'm telling you. Scentsy is the place to be. So stop chasing multiple rabbits. I want you to catch one, but you can't chase them both. Okay? Offer it to every customer every single time. I know it sounds annoying, but if you've been in the customer tab, the contacts tab, and you pull up any customer at all. When you look at it, it tells you their lifetime PRV in sales. You can easily tell them 25% of whatever it is that they bought, right? You can easily tell them, God, you would have saved like $300 by now. That's where my math comes in, right? I love it, because it's so much easier that every time you check out, yeah, you know, you would have saved $8 on this order. In fact, you would have saved $66 since you've met me. Continue to share that every single time, because like Holly said, no doesn't mean that, no never, no means not right now. But you put it in their head, okay? Offer it to every customer every single time. All right, last thing I want to say. When we were up here earlier and everybody's telling you don't quit, I think don't quit is fantastic advice, because really, you're going to outlast everybody. It's really hard, like they said, hard to beat somebody who doesn't quit. However, I want to tell you this as my most important piece of advice was remember to have fun. Because when you struggle, when it gets hard, I want you to come back to the things that make you feel good and are enjoyable to you. It's very easy for us as leaders to say, don't spend all your time and money on samples, don't do this, don't do that. But if it brings you joy to make extravagant samples and give them to people, I want you to come back to that when you're struggling. I want you to remember what feels good to you. I know that for me, when I struggle, I love to make graphics. Is that an encompassing activity? No, it's not. But I love doing it, right? And so when I'm not doing very well, it's easy for me to come back to the thing that I love in order to rebuild that fire and that excitement in my business. So remember to have fun. Because nobody's going to want to join someone who's not having fun. They don't want homework. They don't want harder things. They don't want things that are stressful. They want to see you having a good time and go, I want what she's doing. That looks like a good time. Okay? You can do this. Anyone can do this. Don't give up on yourself. Ask everyone and have a good time. Okay? All right.